Hey guys, all right, so last thing to review before our big test is division. All right, so that's an area that we've worked a lot in, and it's an area that we've struggled, so we want to make sure that we go through it. So let's take a look at what we were doing today. I asked you to figure out what 2,486 divided by 22 would be. Okay, so let's look at how you would go through and solve a problem like that. Now, me personally, I don't know my 22's facts, so if I'm doing 2,486 divided by 22, that to me has got a lot of work to it. So let's write that down. So I've got 2,486 that we're dividing by 22. Okay, so since I don't know my 22's facts, it might be a good idea just to the side to write a few of them down so that I have them as a reference. So one group of 22, or 1 times 22, is 22. 44, that would be 2 groups of 22. If I add another one, that's 66. That's 3 groups of 22. Another one, it's 88. That's 4 groups of 22. And maybe just one more, adding that up to 110. That's 5 groups. I like to have 4 or 5 of the multiples down just because it helps me with my division. So now that I know some of the multiples, it makes my division go a lot faster. So when I write this out, 2,486 being divided by 22, okay? What I'm going to do is I'm going to slowly look for the largest multiple that I can that's going to be close to this number. So I'm looking for what can I multiply 22 by to get close to this. So I'm not going to get close to 2. That's impossible. But 22, I can get it close to 24. Okay? To get close to 24, 1 times 22 is 22. But since I don't really want to get close to 24, I want to get close to 2,486. I'd rather have this be 2,200. And to get to that, I'm going to multiply it by 100. Okay? 100 times 22 is the 2,200 here. Now I subtract, and I go 6, 8, 2. Now all I did is subtract all the way down. Now I'm going to do the exact same process again. But before I do that, you should know what's going on in this problem. The numbers on this side right here are the numbers of groups I've already made. So when I took 2,486 and I was breaking it up into groups of 22, over here, I've already made 100 groups of 22. I still have 286 left that need to get broken up into the groups of 22 still. So now I'm going to look and I'm going to try and get as close as I can to 2. Well, I can't, it's too small. As close as I can get to 28. Well, that's easy. Times 1 again. Because 1 times 22 is 22. If I'd done times 2, that would have been 44. That would have been too much. So looking at this, I'm going to do, let's see, I don't really want 22. I'd rather have 220. So really, I'm multiplying it by 10. 10 times 22 is 220. I look to see what I have left, do my subtraction, 6 and 6, so I have 66 left. So I'm going to look to see how close can I get to 66. So again, looking over at my multiples, times 3 is 66. So there we go, times 3 is 66. I subtract 0. That means I have nothing left over. There's no remainder. So in division, at least as far as 5th grade is concerned, as soon as you either get to 0 or a number that's smaller than what you're dividing by, you're going to stop. Okay? Now, let's look over on this side. Remember, this is the number of groups we made. So I have 100, I have 10, and I have 3. Those are all the groups I made. When I add them together, it will tell me the total number of groups I made. So if I divide 2,486 into groups of 22, I could make 113 groups and I would have nothing left over. Okay? And that's how we do our division. It's a very simple process as long as you take your time with it. The biggest mistake that I've seen fifth graders making when they're doing their problem solving and any other just story problem is those who are making a ladder so you can see some of the multiples are adding wrong, which if you get the wrong numbers here and try and plug them in on this side, yeah, there's no way you can get it right. Okay, so that's one way that I've seen people getting it wrong. And then the other big mistake I see people make is during the subtraction part. So it kills me that you're multiplying things correct, you're seeing the right terms, you're doing the division right, and the thing that you're making the mistake on should be the easiest two parts, adding and subtracting, the two things that you've been doing the longest. So that tells me that when you're making those kind of mistakes, those are rushing accidents. Those are careless accidents. Those are the ones where you didn't take the time to really stop and think through. Okay. I've also seen lots of people when they're subtracting and they end up with a situation instead of like this, they end up with a situation like this, 282 minus 256. And they go, oh, 2 minus 6 is 4. I mean, those are simple, basic ideas behind subtraction. You can't do 2 minus 6. You have to borrow. So don't get to the point when you're doing this that you think the subtraction is so quick and you can rush through it as fast as you can, because that seems to be where you're really making most of your mistakes, is the simple parts of the problem. You understand what you're doing. You understand that this part is the part that's still left that's being divided. You understand that this part is your remainder. You understand that this part is how many groups you've made. You understand the whole division part, and you make simple mistakes, okay? So go slow, take your time, think it through. You should be able to do those simple parts really well. And then if you're doing those well, you should be getting it right each time. All right. So try out a couple of problems. I think I've got 4 of them for you to try out. Try those out. If you don't get the correct answer, try it again. If you still can't get the right answer and you can't see what's going wrong, ask for help. Division is not going away. You need to know how to divide, not just for the rest of this year, but that is an area of mathematics where you will need to do it for the rest of your life. It is something that actually comes up. So please make sure that you're learning this. You're getting tested later in the week, so that's one reason, but it's just important for life. You need to know how to divide, okay? So make sure you're coming in asking for help if you're struggling with any of these. I will tell you this, these first 4 problems that we're working on, none of them have a remainder. So you don't even need to look at the answers. If you're coming up with a remainder on these first 4 problems, you already know something's wrong. Go back and retry it. It might be that the ladder's wrong. It might be you subtracted wrong. Take a look and see if you can find the mistake first on your own, and then come and ask for help. If you are asking for help, don't erase your work before you come to see us, okay? If you're coming to see me, sometimes the nicest thing for you guys to be able to do is either when I'm talking about it with you or when you just have it there, either that you show it to me or you can just check your work while we're doing it together and you can find your mistake on your own, okay? It's a lot more meaningful when you can find your mistake instead of when I'm finding it for you. All right, so good luck out there. Try your best, and there's luckily one more video for today, you lucky dog. All right, bye.